I got this box completely for free. It's full of electronics, cables, and who knows what else. Sure, it does look like a box of e-waste, but honestly, this is actually pretty cool because it's almost like a mystery box, and I genuinely don't have any idea what's in here, but I can already tell that there's some pretty cool stuff inside. I don't exactly remember when I got all of this here. It's definitely been a while, to say the least, and well, having a box like this full of random cables that haven't even been tested, let alone cleaned, well, as you can imagine, it takes up space and it isn't exactly ideal. I've had other projects that I've been working on which just take up a lot of time, and that really hasn't left a lot of time for stuff like this. I have a lot of, I guess, backlog to get through, such as this box here. And with today's video, everything changes because we're finally going to take a look at what we have here, hopefully clean everything up, and put away everything where it's supposed to be. And at the same time, I also get this awesome container, which will be freed up for something that can actually be used in terms of organization and not just a random pile of e-waste. I guess we'll just start by taking out stuff one by one, see what we actually have, and as for the cleaning process, don't worry, most of it is going to be off camera because once you've seen one cable cleaned up, you've pretty much seen the entire process for everything here. The only difference is the actual cable itself, but you know, it's pretty much straightforward. You just clean it up with isopropyl alcohol, and even though it is time consuming, it's something that I just want to get done because, like I said, this has been sitting like this forever, and I just want this to finally be organized and even put some of these cables to use. So we got the tripod in the middle, obviously the box is here, and I will just take out stuff one by one. First off, we have, well, it's clearly an Ethernet cable of some kind. It doesn't actually have any writing on it, except for the fact that it's a 7-foot cable, so not entirely sure what category this would be, but Ethernet cable is always useful. Next up, we have... Now, I'm not entirely sure about this. It doesn't say anything, but if I have to guess, considering we have some phone stuff as well, I think that this might be some phone line, which I think makes the most sense here. And then we have another phone cable. Now, I don't know too much in terms of telephone line and, you know, its categories and stuff compared to Ethernet anyways, but it looks like this has not been used, so very nice. Now, this is pretty cool. It looks like a junction box of some sort. Again, I'm not too familiar with all the phone stuff, but it is something that I would like to check out more in the future. Obviously, there's the color codes and, well, I guess it's like a, yeah, it might be a splitter, it might be some kind of junction box. I'm not entirely sure, but obviously it's more phone equipment. Then we have some, oh, these are component cables. Oh, and these are actually Monster brand. So, yeah, you can see it right there. Monster Video, obviously by Monster Cable. I'm not exactly sure if it was this color initially. I guess we'll see if it cleans up. Next up, we have a nice USB-A to USB-B cable. It's beige, so that'll go well with some era-appropriate equipment. Another Ethernet cable, so this actually has writing. Category 5E. It looks like this hasn't been used either, but we'll still give it a wipe down. All right, what is this? More phone line. It's, you know, more standard phone line. Obviously, this one has been used. It could do with a clean. I need to find a way to actually put those to use. More phone line. Well, I guess I won't have a problem with phone cables now. I don't think I actually had too many to begin with, so this is actually nice to have. So I think this has also been unused, but it is kind of dirty, probably just from sitting around. Who knows how many years it's been since it was manufactured. And then we have, oh yeah, this is more Ethernet cable. All right, it says just category 5, so pretty standard Ethernet cable. And then we actually have some wall adapters. This is for an Iowa something. There's the information. I have some Iowa gear, but I don't think this would go to it. So, and I'm guessing there's nothing Iowa related in here apart from this. Another power adapter for a Uniden something. What do you know, Uniden? Clearly this is a more modern landline because it obviously has the telephone jack. It's already in the like late silver, probably like I don't know, 2010s era or something. It's more modern. That's what I'm trying to say. So it won't exactly fit in with the, well, I guess the Y2K theme, but I guess a phone is still nice to have. Yeah, nothing too fancy. And this actually has a NiCad battery. I was not expecting that. Yeah, I guess now we have a landline telephone with some phone cables. Here it is with the dock, handset. All right, what else do we have here? More phone cable. And then, what do you know? More phone cable. Who would have guessed? This one has obviously been used, but still in good shape. So, more phone cable. And then, phone accessories. This is still sealed. Can you believe no one needed this? It's a DSL filter. So, yeah. Put your DSL and, or actually, I think you plug this into the wall, and then you get the DSL side, and then you get the phone side. So, not exactly sure how I'd put this to use, but more phone stuff. DSL filter, but it only has the phone jack. And then, oh boy, just what we need. Yeah, this is safe, right? Yeah, I'm definitely gonna power up all my computer equipment through this one cable because it's such a reliable extension cord. It's a General Electric cable. You can tell it's not polarized, so it's very safe to use. This side is actually polarized though, so it's not like you're going to plug in anything backwards. This is cool for like the novelty aspect of it, but I'm not sure how often I would actually use something like this. I'll still clean it up though because, well, it's not every day you see a cable like this. Next up we have, is this painted? I don't know what's going on with this cable. Well, if it had writing on it, well, I don't see it now. Now, I don't know if it's a monster cable. I don't think it is. They are very similar, so I'm not entirely sure. But this one is component with audio, so I'm sure I can use this for something else. Not sure about the paint, if I'll even be able to get this off. This is actually a pretty decent and pretty heavy component cable, so I'm sure that it'll still work well. Then we have another Ethernet cable. Oh, this one's actually a Belkin. All right, here it is. Category 5E. So, yeah, this will be nice and handy. And it looks like all the cables don't have like broken clips or anything here, so that's always a nice bonus. Next, we have some standard composite cables. I have a ton of these, but honestly, these are always handy to have. All right, what is this? DirecTV. It's a B-band converter. I guess I could try this to see if it would like boost a signal, but otherwise I'm not too sure what I would be using this for. Next up we have, what is this, more Ethernet cable? Oh, here it is. This is a Cat 5 cable. So this stuff, even though it's, you know, it's an older cable, it'll still be handy for older computers that don't have gigabit Ethernet or anything like that. It is hyper grade, which is nice to know. So I guess that means something. And what do you know? We actually have another handset here. They're not in that bad a shape. They're actually in pretty good condition. Looks like this is just a standalone charger, but I think we only have one wall adapter. All right, what else do we have here? And it's another Category 5 cable. So it's not 5E or anything. It's just a standard Ethernet cable. Another phone line. Wow, just what we always needed. This looks like a microphone stand or something. Like you put this on the side of your monitor or maybe on the top of your monitor. This vaguely looks like something Apple did with their mics in the 90s, but I'm not entirely sure if it's that. Next up, another Ethernet cable. And does this actually have writing? Ethernet cable of unknown category. And then, what is this? Is this like a microphone? It does look like it's some kind of microphone. Not exactly sure what this would have gone to. Probably some kind of cassette recorder or something. It's a DSL splitter. Wow. Just what we needed. More phone accessories. Yeah, I don't think I'll have a problem with phone line now. Another composite cable. Can't go wrong with that, so seems to be decent. Oh, I know what this is. This is for your Xbox Connect. So this is very interesting because the Connect uses this weird like USB rip-off, knockoff plug thing. This is built into the 360 Slim, but if you have an original Xbox 360, it obviously doesn't have this connector, and you need to use this adapter if you want to play Kinect games on your original Xbox. So if your gigantic adapter for that Xbox wasn't enough, now you need to plug in a second accessory to the wall in order to play Kinect. I guess it's nice to have. I do have Xbox equipment. Oh wow, it's the exact same DirecTV accessory, but it's... Oh, it's not actually sealed, but it's pretty much new. Oh, and this is another one of those DSL splitters. Or not splitters, the filter. And it looks identical to this one. Yeah, it's the same. So I guess we now have two of these sealed. I've seen these before, but I guess now I have one. This is it's like a case for earbuds, basically. And it even has extra foam pads, which will probably disintegrate. So you put your earbuds in here, and it's a pretty interesting idea, but not exactly the highest of quality. Oh, this is like the most 2010 to 2012 accessory ever. Folding phone holder with an iPhone 4. It looks like iOS 5, but I might be wrong. Well, I guess you put your phone on this and, you know, onto the charger. I'm not exactly sure if this would hold up to modern devices because they're obviously larger and heavier, but I guess for the iPhone 4s in the collection, I could use this. If anything, it's a interesting, like, early smartphone accessory. And then we actually have covered pretty much everything here. This is just like a... Well, it's not exactly a lanyard, but it's like a strap for a camera or something. I can't say I've ever heard of this name before, but it looks like something you would use with a flip phone. And with that, we have covered everything in the box except for the box itself, which is obviously a plastic container that needs to be cleaned up. And I'm sure I can put this to good use because this actually fits perfectly on my shelving units. Lots of potential with this. This will be cleaned up off camera as well. So what we're going to do is we're pretty much going to jump cut to when everything here is completely cleaned up. After some time, some effort, and a whole bunch of cleaning later, everything is now completely cleaned up, including the container. Obviously, this is just a plastic container, so I washed it in the sink, and it turned out really nicely. It doesn't have any damage whatsoever, and it'll be a great storage container for whatever I decide to use it for. Everything else was cleaned up with isopropyl alcohol, and overall we have a whole bunch of cool new cables here to add to the collection. Now I actually have to figure out where to put all of this here, because previously I was just using a small box for both Ethernet, phone, and other networking gear, and well, this is going to fill up the box and then some. Now, I do plan on using more Ethernet cables, especially with stuff like the iTunes setup here, but I still need to actually get around to fixing the setup, so these will just be put off to the side. With the phone stuff here, I really do want to try and find a use for these, but I really need to learn more about this in general, and maybe figure out how to actually use this with built-in modems, such as the modem on the G5, but that's something for another time. With the video gear, I do have a separate area just for composite components, other video cables, and the only real cable that hasn't really been cleaned completely is the one with paint. Now, I actually spent quite a bit of time trying to get rid of the paint, and as you can see, I actually got rid of most of it on one side. This is just so time consuming that it honestly just isn't worth spending any more time on this, because it's still just a normal component cable, and we have another one here that doesn't have any paint whatsoever. Not to mention I have more cables just like this. Unless I'm getting paid to remove all this paint, I think I'm going to stick with this as it is right now. And I guess we could just say it adds character, it has history, so yeah, we're just going to leave it as is for now. It is possible, but it just takes so much time to do. But with other stuff here, especially like the USB cable, you can see that it was very dirty, and now it's actually a whole different color. So I'm really happy with how that turned out, and in general, I'm just happy with how everything else turned out. Not to mention, we actually have an entire cordless handset here with 2 phones and an extra charger. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to use that, but I guess I now have this if I really wanted to use a cordless handset. So I guess that's cool. As for the Connect cable, that'll just be put away with other video game accessories. But those things, I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to put them yet. I mean, everyone loves the 1940s, 1950s extension cable. Yeah, this is very safe to use. Honestly, this is just funny to look at. I guess this is like a history piece or something. I don't know. It's funny to have. As for the other stuff, I'm probably just going to put those off to the side with some other things that I have no idea what to do with. But it is all cleaned up, so I guess that counts for something. I also want to say that for the cable management side of things, such as the cable ties and the rubber bands, even though they are working out as intended, it's not my favorite solution, and ideally I would like to swap them out for reusable Velcro cable ties. I only currently have a couple of those at the moment though, so until I get more of those, I'm just going to have to stick with these. And just like that, another part of the backlog is finally complete. Don't worry, I have more stuff like this that I still need to get around to doing, but if you want to see more content just like this, you can check out this video here where we actually restored some Apple accessories. It requires more cleaning than this, but the end result was definitely worth it. But that's it for now. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.